By the way, in the first Lebanon War is when they really, really changed. The first Lebanon War, there was shelling like crazy coming over from Lebanon to northern Galilee. And people from northern Galilee fled from their houses because they were really, really in great physical danger. And what happened was, many of the public servants and many of the government people, they went south. The nonprofits went north.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, and I can tell you this personally because my own, the association that I chair, the Israel Free Loan Association, we started giving out business loans like crazy in the north, in Nahariya, from Haifa up to Kiryat Shmona, all the way up, because those people had lost customers. They were still paying rent. They were still paying some salaries. They had, the stores were empty. And we wanted them to survive, small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We were giving our loans, and we called it the Northern War Zone. And I was out looking for money for the Northern War Zone for business loans. And we received an award after the war. We were one of the organizations that did that work.
Mm-hmm.
But the nonprofits went north.
Mm-hmm.
We gave out more money in 2 months' time during the war than the Ministry of Welfare gave out in the same period.
Wow. Well, this is the other subject I wanted to be sure that we talked about, which is the Israel Free Loan Association, is it? And which has been going for almost 20 years, I think. And another just shockingly effective creation, it seems to me, from the outside. But I'd love to hear you talk about how it works and what the impact is, how big the loans are. You also seem to have just a remarkable repayment rate.
Yes. Well, let's start with that. The default rate is less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have some problematic loans that we call problematic loans, but those are loans where people may have a problem making their payment. So we will be very helpful to them in stretching out the payment. That's not a problem. We can do that. It's in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual defaults are less than 1%.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, basically, the free loan was started back, I'm going to talk about this soon in my lecture, that was started back in 1990 with a big influx of the Ethiopian and Russian Jews. And I felt that, again, like Project Renewal, citizens have to be involved in this thing. Government can't do it alone. And eventually, it's a kind of face-to-face, citizen to immigrant, a relationship has to be developed. So we can help them. And I also knew that at the end of their first year, the Jewish agency, the government, quasi-government agency that helps them, drops them. They're finished. They're integrated. They've been integrated. So you come to a new country, you don't know the language, you have to learn Hebrew. And after a year, they're finished. The government is finished with you, pretty much. You're a citizen like everybody else. So we felt we would have to help them because they barely knew their Hebrew and they barely had a job and they had very few social relationships and family relationships and old buddy ties and and all that. So we were thinking, how could we? I gathered together a group of people, and I thought, how can we help them and friends? And we thought maybe we'll give them furniture. We'll develop a whole furniture thing. We'll have warehouses. We will get used furniture from the country, people. We'll have trucks, and we will give furniture to these new immigrants. Okay, you're talking about the Russians, over 1 million Russians, 90,000 Ethiopians. At that time, 60,000, okay. And no, we said, no, we don't want to get into the furniture business. They said, okay, let's give them food. We're going to have food stores. We're going to go get from the companies, the food companies, and we will distribute food, canned food, No, we're not going to give them food. Now, clothing. Let's have clothing warehouses. We're going to get used clothing. We'll have them come in around the country, Non-profit, it's all non-profit. We're not talking government. And no, we're not going to give, we don't want to give food. They give clothing, so we went back to money. So it was the final analysis. One, we want to keep their dignity. We don't want to give them handouts. We want to give them money. Let them buy what they need. Let them run their own lives. We're not going back to welfare. You know, it's all. And so we went to loans. We thought loans were good. Interest-free loans. That's Jewish. That's the Jewish component. That's one of the basic principles of Judaism on helping the people with money. Interest-free loans is considered the highest level of tzedakah, charity or help that you can give. So,
what is the word again?
Tzedakah.
And zakat in
Zakat
Arabic.
is in Arabic.
Is it
Same source, absolutely. Absolutely. So we went to interest-free loans, and we got $20,000. We scraped to get $20,000. We started giving out interest-free loans. And more people came in, and we were all volunteers, and it developed. And we'll get into a long story. And from $20,000, we have given out $112 million to over 50,000 people and small businesses. And that was a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. So.
And it can be for both purposes, immediate personal need and sustaining a business.
Well, either or. They can ask for a business loan or a personal loan. They gotta know what they want from us.
Right.
So, but either category, they can choose a category. If they need it for a business loan, they've got to give us a business plan. They've got to show us that they put in some of their own money. It's very clear. Again, criteria. It's all on the website. In Hebrew, but it's all on the website. There's no, figure it out. It's all on the website. So people can figure whether they're eligible or not eligible. And if they fit the stuff, they're going to get the loan. If they fit the criteria, they're going to get the loan. And the loan can be as quickly as they act, as they work. And they have to have 2 guarantors for a personal loan and 3 guarantors for a business loan. And the minimum income of a personal loan that a person has to have for a personal loan is 3,000 shekel. 3,000 shekel divided by 4. That's the dollar amount, which is peanuts. It's poverty line in Israel. It's just poverty, just a little bit below poverty line in Israel. And the highest income that they can have to get a loan from us is 13,500 shekel divided by 4. So they're
1,000 to 13,500.
Yeah. So they are really we're dealing with the working poor. We picked that population. We're dealing with the working poor. We want to help them. We can't save the whole world. We just save part of it, and that's our part. And that's really important because we want to keep them. We want to keep them out of poverty. We don't want to keep them out of welfare. We want to be helpful. We want to preserve their dignity. This is not charity. They pay it back, and it goes to somebody else who's waiting for that loan. And I think there's a myth. There's a myth that poor people don't pay their loans, and that's a myth. Less than 1%. They understand. They understand that somebody else is like them is waiting for that loan, for that money to make. Not every idea can be taken as it is and adapted. It has to be locally adapted. It has to be refined for local conditions, local politics, local leadership. It's really important. It's people are trying to do that in Israel, and it doesn't work that well. You have to know the local scene. But there's a concept. You take the concept, and you see, okay, how would we fit that concept if at all into our society? And if there's a place, fine. And that's really what I'm saying. I think it's a good concept for depressed communities. The nicest thing about it is that the money that you get donated to you will stay with you forever and will go around forever. It's a perpetual gift. And that is really nice. We are not scrounging every year for our budget. And whatever donations that we get, thank God, just increase the capacity to give more loans. Our base is about $35 million, which has gone around 3 times or so.
Right.
And I call it, by the way, and I coined the term, the helping value of a donation. What's the help in the reports that we send to donors? The helping value of your donation is 300%, 245%.
So it's kind of the philanthropic alternative to return on investment, ROI.
Correct. I will get donors who tell me, if I could get this return on Wall Street, I would be really happy.
Right. Well, great. Well, Professor Jaffe, I want to thank you for this really great conversation, and also to recognize the great work that you've done over this 50 years in Israel. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.